Hello YouTube. We are in the grassy flatlands yet again, in a very foggy environment, and due to the popular demand of the last video, today I'm going to bring you another 3v3 Lan Party battle. Today, as you can see, we've got more massive battles here in place for you, and let's just go ahead and run through the players. Before we do that, you can see that the party has started with some bombardment from the player using Spain, I believe. Yep, and it is Darren. Darren is using the Spanish. He's got 2 units of mailed knights, 2 units of swordsmen or swordsman militia. He's got 2 handgunners, 2 grand bombard, and 2 dismounted chivalric knights. The middle of the enemy army is the Sicilian force led by Temujin, who you saw in the last video. He has 3 units of these peasant archers. Right behind him, a very strong line of 3 units of dismounted men-at-arms, 2 units of armored sergeants, 3 units of armored sergeants, sorry, so that's 3 armored sergeants, 3 dismounted men-at-arms. He's got 2 chivalric knights and a bodyguard. Finally on the left you got Zenak. You might remember him from my Empire Total War videos. He's got 3 armored sergeants, 2 Papai's crossbowmen, a handgunners unit, a general's bodyguard unit, and 2 Teutonic knight units. As for our armies, we are using the French and the Byzantines. You can see that the armies have kind of mixed up. These flags over here with the one on them is Lari. He's got a line composed of 5 units of the sergeant spearmen. He then has a very strong contingent of 4 chivalric knights, and that's it for him. I've got 2 chivalric knights, 1 chivalric, 1 noble knight, and bodyguard, as well as over here. I've got, I'll show you what's going on over here, but anyway, we decide to do a charge on the left flank of our opponents. So we commit all of our heavy cavalry on this army, seeing that it's separated from the rest. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this minimap here, so you guys can see the action better. So you can see that there are going to be devastating charges that are happening on the right, but the more devastating charge is going to be this one, which is going to decimate this unit of swordsmen and gunners. And that was my chivalric knights. So pretty much we're going to rout and destroy most of this army over here, and then we're going to pull back after we have removed the handgunner and the bombard threat. So the rest of my army is composed of a heavy infantry contingent of 4 dismounted chivalric knights, and then I've got 2 peasant crossbowmen for support. You can see that we are advancing on their main line as we charge from the left. And finally, the Byzantines are led by Dronki Pu, who you also saw in the last video. He's got 3 units of his Byzantine missile cavalry, and then his main component has only
half the enemy force remains.
3 Byzantine spearmen. He has then has 2 dismounted lancers, his Varangian guard, and 3 units of these Trebizond archers, and then a peasant archers unit. So balanced armies from pretty much all of our players. You can see here the results of the charge. A lot of bodies from our side, but also you can see that the handgunners have been eliminated almost completely. This unit is all what remains, and they're not going to be able to do any threat. But these bombards are going to become more active as we go towards later in the battle. On the right flank, you can see that Zenak, the Holy Roman Empire player, has also brought a bombard unit. Drunkard is going to take his Byzantine cavalry, which was a screening force for our advance on the left, and he's going to commit a charge to this bombard unit that's firing at our guys to no real effect. And yeah, some bad misses there. And he's going to drop this unit quickly and start killing them. And Zenak isn't even going to notice it until it's a little bit too late for him. You can see that 1 unit routed, but that's not going to be a problem. With this second bombard down to 4 men, it's going to be operating at a very slow pace, and then the Byzantine cavalry are going to rush their way out. So on a closer look on the minimap, You can see that our opponent's line is pretty much wider than our line at the moment. It's just a little bit wider, but our line is much thicker and denser, so the initial plan was an advance and push through the middle, which would allow us to decimate the Sicilian army, seeing that the Holy Roman Empire army doesn't have a lot of infantry. If we can decimate this infantry component, we should be fine. So that's the plan. That was the initial plan, and you'll see in a minute how that goes bad and how we are stuck in a very bad situation. So we're deciding to advance right now, so let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit. You can see that we are slowly advancing. Nothing is really happening on the flanks. If you keep an eye on the mini-map here, not much is really going on, but there is over here motion from Drunk's forces at the back lines, and they are just shooting at people and kind of annoying the Holy Roman Empire player. The Sicilian player, Temujin, then charges his cavalry into our archer lines, and he's going to be met by some spearmen as well as some dismounted men-at-arms. He did some good casualties there, and now he's going to run back out. You can see now things start to get a little ugly for us. That charge basically caused our line to shrink up a little bit, and now we're in a big blob. And if you can look at the mini-map, you can already see what's kind of happening here. There's a you could foresee an enveloping maneuver, but we also have the Lori, or the other French players, chivalric knights on the left to protect the flank. But that is going to change soon, seeing that the Holy Roman Empire player and the Sicilian player have merged their cav on the left flank, and this was too much of an easy target for us to ignore. And so you can see after they charge and rout that placeholder unit, you can see that all of our cavalry has slowly started to move. You can watch it here. Move, and we're all going to merge up, and there's going to be a very big cavalry fight here that's going to pretty much be a very, very important point in the battle that's going to pretty much decide what goes on later. At the same time, our line is still kind of messed up, and at this point, Drunky Poo decides to attack. We're going to attack the Sicilian player and try to press an advantage here, but you can see that we're marching right into a pincer right here, and here is the cavalry fight, a counter charge from the Teutonic Knights, and a lot of casualties going on there. You can see that these cav units are pretty much equal in stats, but look how much cav we have. We have a distinct cav superiority on there. The Sicilian player split one of his cav units and attacked the right. However, he routed because he rode right into spearmen, and you can see that the Spanish player cav and the rest of the Sicilian chivalric knights are now also surrounding us. So now our infantry is definitely not in a good position. You can see we're trying to push forward, breach gap, to kind of break this little U shape that's going on here. If I zoom in a little bit more, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So yeah, winning this cav fight is definitely essential right now, and you can see that these Teutonic Knights are down to 10, and the bodyguard is down to 11. So this cav fight is pretty much done with, and in comes the chivalric Knights to hold our cavalry a little bit longer. And at the same time, the Spanish player moves his bombards back into place and starts showering into this mosh pit here. And he actually hits more of his players than our players. So you can see what's happening here. It's a total encirclement maneuver. You can see my peasant crossbowmen routing. These Trebizond archers are getting hit from arrows and from cavalry from the back. And here comes some Byzantine spearmen for support. And you can see that a lot of units started routing. Finally, we got some success on the right flank, and the bombards are still doing a bad job hitting their own men. But this little trap here has got us in a very, very pinched situation. You can see it's very, very close combat, and we are completely surrounded from all sides here. So as you can guess, we have won the cavalry fight, but with a lot of casualties. But that is going to make a difference As you can see, I'm going to charge what remains of my cavalry right into the flank there, and that bombard shot was devastating. I'm going to bring them here from the right, try to avoid this unit of the general's bodyguard to kind of free up this side over here. And you can see that I barely move it out of a place in time. They almost got bogged down, but thankfully the Byzantine player has some spearmen there that are going to bog the cavalry down. And notice how the Holy Roman Empire player is going to charge his armored sergeants right into my cavalry. Not a pretty sight. Made our chances look a little bit grimmer, and they're going to be forming a schiltrum here. And I'm going to notice that, run my guys through the schiltrum in an attempt to get it to rout, and it breaks, which was also an important moment in the fight. And there goes the Spanish general. So now 2 generals have fallen on our enemy's sides, and if there's any time to change and free this trap, now is the time. You can see we're still completely surrounded from all sides. Go ahead and commit my cavalry to these crossbowmen who were shooting into the fight, killing a lot of our men. You can see a lot of Sicilian archers still present in the vicinity, and they're shooting into this, so our men are falling left and right. And you can see that they're all shaking, they're all winded. A single proper charge on these guys would probably kill them, or if they would have flamed the missiles. So at this point, this was the most essential tide flipping point in the battle. The other French player, Larry, is going to charge these Sicilian archers, and I'm going to line up my cavalry and form up a charge right at the rear of these dismounted knights. But before I do that, I get smashed by a bombard right into my general's bodyguard unit, which is going to decrease the force of my charge, seeing that they're not as lined up as they were, but that's not going to make a difference. And we are going to start a chain route that we were looking for. And there goes the final general for the Sicilian player, Temujin. You can see that he's desperately trying to hit our guys from the back, but they're holding well because the French player has formed a very large schiltrum here, and that's going to take care of the enemy cavalry. You can see that more French knights were entangled with some Spanish cavalry here that's going to try and join the fight a little bit too late. At this point, you can see on the minimap most of the units have lifted the complete surround, and now things are looking good for us, and we've got a surround on our enemy. Here comes the charge, but it is right into the French schiltrum, and here are some close-ups for you guys at the final stages of the action. You can see that our infantry are all either tired or winded, and you can see that some of them are even wavering and shaken as well. These units here are waving because of the morale drop that's been happening all around them. And in comes the Holy Roman Empire charge right into our guys, and things here are starting to look ugly, but no fear, here comes the rest of my knights, and right behind them another unit of Spanish cavalry to try and nerf the charge almost. And here comes the Sicilians, and they're not going to be left out, and they're going to also join the fun over here. And you can see that this is just turned into a huge grind fest. And pretty much it's going to be which troop is better. You can see that my dismounted chivalric knights have been holding their own throughout the battle, and these Varangian guard thrown in the mix are helping with the armor pierce. And finally the Sicilians start to rout. That instigates a chain rout for the Holy Roman Empire units, and they all start to rout almost instantly. But the only thing that's left is this milled cavalry unit here, and that was it. And if that wasn't epic madness and craziness, I don't know. I really don't know what is. Just look at the bodies all over the map. You can see traces of us around here, and how that cavalry charge really did save us. So what it is now is basically just us chasing the routing units away, and then some units are obviously coming back, but they're all going to be chased away by our infantry. And you can see that my guys are very tired, and as are the Byzantine troops. They've been fighting all the match, and that was some crazy action right there. So let's just go ahead and fast forward our way. You can see that we're just picking off
The
units one
battle
by
is
one.
very much in our favor.
And
if we remain true and
all the units that are
steadfast,
returning,
victory will be ours.
we are pushing them away. So if anything, this battle showed that you can do some really interesting things with bombards, but hand gunners are pretty much a waste of cash in a situation like this unless you spam them. But that's not really fun for anyone, is it? A bombard pretty much ended up attacking their units and doing more friendly fire than it did damage to us. It did attack some of the attack some of the cavalry units and nerf some of our charges. But in the end, we prevailed after engaging that key cavalry engagement here, and that was it. You can see the battle statistics screen here. Temujin is the MVP of the match yet again, similar to last time. He's got the most kills. He always brings the most balanced armies, and I was close second. I hope you guys enjoyed the second Lan Party, and definitely look out for more videos. And yeah, thanks for watching.